if we're live, that would be amazing. And if you can hear us.
Just checking.
Oh, it says live. It says we're live.
It says we're live.
Look, it's us.
Okay, hello everyone. Yeah, totally prepared, as you can tell. As you can tell by a wonderful mismatched boxes as things were wrong before. Hello everyone. My name is Fiona. I am the host of What Am I Rolling, a twice-monthly RPG one-shot podcast, and welcome to this stream of You Awaken in a Strange Place for this wonderful convention of ArgarCon. I believe that's. I hadn't even pronounced it out loud until now. That's my new way of going about it. But yes, so my name is Fiona, and I've been joined by these three wonderful players to play this fully improvised RPG by one. I had his name down here somewhere. Jacob Andrews. We'll go into that. But I'm going to give my players a quick chance to just introduce themselves, who they are, share their pronouns if they would like to, and where you can find their stuff. And Sarah, that includes your stuff if you have any. I appreciate it and didn't brief you that off podcast. It's fine. But we'll go around. We'll go David, Mark, and then Sarah. So please introduce yourself, my wonderful players.
I guess that means me first. It's to be here. I've not been in a gaming con for quite some time. Yeah, I am David. I run the Drunken Storyteller Twitch stream where we do a lot of RPGs. It's a little bit adult themed, so just be warned if you do want to go check it. And I also do a folklore podcast under the same name. Again, content warning on that one, I feel.
Content warning on David in general there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It should just like stamp it across my forehead. Content warning. I'm going to behave myself today, though. So don't worry about
All right,
that.
well, that's the first line of this game, but thank you very much, David. Going on to Mark.
So I'm just impressed because David got through the introduction without being sweary. So we're looking good for the rest of the event. Hello, I'm Mark. If you've been to the Archeo Gaming Con before, i.e. last year, you might remember me from such panels as the panel that I did with Tom Murr and Matthew Dawkins on folklore in gaming, because that was the only panel I did. But this year, Archie Fantasies stupidly asked me to come back and do something else, and this is what happened. I am the creator and host of the Folklore podcast. You can see the URL over my left shoulder on screen. It is a podcast about folklore. Unlike David's podcast about folklore, it's not sweary and anybody can listen to it.
Brilliant, thank you so much. And then last,
I've got a lot better over time.
Sure. Another lie. And finally, last but by no means least, Sarah. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I am friend of Fiona. This is my second RPG, so new to the RPG world. But you can find me on Instagram at A Barrel of Crafts, where I like to try and make things.
Thank you so much. And yes, so this game, as I said, You Awaken in a Strange Place, is a fully improvised tabletop RPG for 4 players. So thankfully, there's 4 of us here today. But before we start, I just want to say, as it is improvised, as it's an actual play, as it's a tabletop RPG, I'm going to have just a big content warning. Because it's fully improvised, we're making stuff up on the spot, but that also means stuff might happen which we're not necessarily comfortable with. We're going to try and avoid that if we can. Off the podcast, we did our X cards and various lines and veils, which are all the safety tools to make sure that we as players are safe. But just in case, I'm just doing a blanket thing, making sure that if you feel uncomfortable whilst watching the stream at any point, you have no obligation to carry on watching it. You can stop and come back when you're ready, should you need to, should you want to. But we'd appreciate you staying for us, because we're just here about this. The vibe of this game is going to be silly, big, fun. That's what we're going to do for this game. And also have some archaeology themes in it as well. We appreciate the brief on that one, so thanks for that.
We'll try.
We'll try. So the only real 2 rules about this RPG is that anything that we, so the GM, which is me for this game, and the players say about the world is true about the world, and that the game itself must be finished in this one session. So we have less than 2 hours to create this story with its characters, the world, and finish it. All right, so no pressure, guys, but a lot of pressure. So as Sarah knows, we've done this once before.
You know how well I do at dying in these things, so I'll be done in like 5 minutes. So.
Cool, but we need to bring you back.
Always the first to go.
Yes, exactly.
In that case, the first rule we have is David doesn't die in the first 5 minutes. Is that a thing that we can put in?
I feel like I should have talked about that before the stream. But anyway, so the first thing we're going to do for our You Awaken in a Strange Place, we're going to establish the setting. So my players, you should each have 2d6. I want you to roll them and tell me what values you get.
With my usual skills of rolling, I have a grand total of 4.
Mark has a 4.
I
Sarah?
have a lovely double 5.
Ooh, 10
I've
for
got 10.
Sarah.
Well, get you.
I rolled a 6 for
A
once in my life.
A 6 in total.
10. No, 10 in total. I rolled a 6 on my dice.
Ooh, well, let's do a rolls off between Sarah and David then, because you both got 10s.
Ooh, 8.
9.
Oh, so David, you go first.
I'm really. I don't know how to cope with this already.
It's
The
dizzying
pressure.
height. Yes, the dizzying height. So,
Pressure.
It won't
Dizzying dice
last.
is rolling above 3 on dice is.
what's going to happen now? So the person who's rolled the highest, so that's David, I would like you to think of a genre. The genre is obviously a type of a theme of a thing. Now, obviously, I know the overall theme is archaeology, but think of things like, your favourite films. So you could be like a film noir, horror, detective story, murder mystery, that sort of thing. So I want you to think silently of a genre. Second was Sarah, who rolled an 8. So you think silently of an adjective. So something that is a describing word, anything like that. You can also Google it if you're not 100% sure. So even I had to Google these things. And finally, Mark, who rolled the lowest, I want you to think of a location. This could be any location you can think of. It doesn't have to be on Earth. But it can also, anything. It can be big, small, whatever. Essentially, it's that sort of thing in improv. We go, can I get a location? And somebody always shouts out Nando's. And you're like, any other location than Nando's, please. So we're going to go first to David. What is the genre of the world that we are in?
I have 2. And I'm kind of tempted to give both and see the reactions because I know one Mark will love.
Okay, so are you smashing 2 together?
I don't know if I can smash 2 together, so I think we'll go with the first one that I had, which is just science fiction because space nerd as well.
Science fiction. Perfect. Thank you very much. So science fiction is the genre. Sarah, what is our adjective setting?
So my adjective was mysterious.
Oh,
And that would have
mysterious.
worked with which I was chosen, which was going to be Scooby-Doo.
Oh,
Well,
would have been perfect.
the science fiction.
Perfect.
I'll put in brackets. Scooby-Doo. Okay, so we've got science fiction / Scooby-Doo, and then mysterious from Sarah. Finally, Mark, I would like a location.
The Museum of the World's Largest Barbie Doll Collection.
Amazing. Museum of the World's Largest Barbie Doll.
Life in plastic.
Oh no, I'm going to have that song in my head. Okay, brilliant. So in that same order, so David, Sarah, Mark, each of you are going to make a statement about this world, this science fiction / Scooby-Doo world, which is mysterious, but also has the Museum of the World's Largest Collection of Barbie Dolls. And this statement, as soon as you say it, makes it true about the world. So you each are going to have one go, and then we're going to fill out the rest of the world to make it sort of a bit more, not realistic, but a bit more sort of, it isn't realistic, but it's more just feels a bit, flesh it out a bit more, if you see what I mean. And I'll say these statements can relate to anything. It could be something like, everyone flies on a Tuesday. Everyone has 3 pairs of socks, but the third one is a mysterious colour of ultraviolet. It can be as simple, silly as that, but anything you say is true. So David, no pressure again, but what's the first core tenet of this science fiction / Scooby-Doo genre world, which is mysterious, but also has a museum housing a huge collection of Barbie dolls, the largest collection of Barbie dolls?
Sticking with science, and we're going to go for some light theming here. The light prism. So when you have a rainbow or you shine light through a prism, there's only 3 colours.
Oh, light prism.
But they change each time you look.
Very mysterious.
Interesting. So only 3 colours that change change. Brilliant. Sarah.
Red, green, blue, pink, orange, yellow.
I'm going to go with all the dolls in the museum come to life at midnight.
All the dolls in that specific museum, or all dolls in general?
Just in the Barbie museum.
Like all the dolls in the museum come at
Like
live.
Toy Story.
Live at midnight. All right, and Mark.
In this world, the word "run" has been banned, and anybody who uses it gets instantly jailed.
Excellent. Straight to jail.
I'll be seeing you in jail then soon, I guess.
Straight to jail. Okay, so the 3 core tenets we've got the light prism. When you shine a light through it, there are only ever 3 colors, but they change each time you look. So would you say then, David, just to clarify, is that a subjective thing for each? So if we both were watching a prism, would we both see the same colors, or would we see different colors?
Ooh, I'll let you choose that one. Up to you.
I'll keep it a secret for now. That sounds like a problem for later, Fiona. And then Sarah's one, dolls in the museum come alive at midnight. Does that mean, Sarah, that they cease to come alive when dawn rises? So is that sort of...
Yes, yeah, they have to make it back to their original spots.
Fantastic. And then finally, run has been banned. The word run has been banned. And if anyone utters it, they go straight to jail.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love. So let's talk about this world a little bit then. With I guess, how often would people be looking through light prisms? If we start with that one first, is it a regular occurrence? Do we think? Does everyone have a light prism? Is there some sort of purpose to it, perhaps?
The only reason I brought up light prisms was because that's where my brain went. But it's also rainbow. It was more like rainbow. So if it's raining a lot, so it's quite a wet world. It rains a lot, so there's quite a lot of rainbows. So it's a thing that people know a lot about, and it's quite a common thing, I feel.
Excellent. Oh, I like that. I guess it's a way it's very rainy today, and you just look out and it's just it's just like green, orange, purple. Yeah.
You look out one window and it's one set of colours. You look out another window and it's different set of colours.
I like that. This doll museum, then, folks, it's large. It's large and in charge, so to speak. Where is it? Where is it? Is it like a big attraction in the capital city, or is it in an obscure place, do we think, that people flock to go to?
I think it may have taken the place of one of the major art museums in London.
Oh my god, okay. Any particular one?
I'm going to go with the Tate because that's the one I know.
All right. 8 now has it. Fantastic. And then run has been banned. Are there any other words that have been banned, or is it just this specific thing? Was there an incident why we banned the word run?
I think it was it came about because of an unfortunate sporting event at a previous Olympics, but the details have been withheld because they were mysterious.
I like it. So it's been stricken from the record, and we don't talk about the last Olympics and any of those speedy walking events. Yeah, I get that. All right. Okay, I think we've fleshed out enough. I think that's quite good. All right. Next step, folks. We're going to create characters. So we're going to do the same thing again. I want you all to roll the 2d6 and let me know what values you get.
Got a 6.
There, I got a 6.
I got 12.
Oh, I think David's going first then. Oh, look at you, David. That's you twice. Mark.
I don't.
7.
All right, so it's going to go.
I'm just going to check that the symbol on the dice is a 6 and not a 1.
All right, double check. Okay, fair enough. All right, so we're going to go in this order of David, Mark, and then Sarah to create characters. Here's me. So, David, I want you to think of. I want you to think of and then describe a character, any kind of character you want to be, which is a part of this world that we've just created. This world, which is, as I'll just remind you, is a science fiction / Scooby-Doo themed world, which is mysterious, but also houses this large museum of the world's largest doll collection, Barbie doll collection. It's me. and like we said before off stream, but just for the audience, you can be anything you want. You could even be a concept of something. And so we do that. So we just do. If you just think of a quick bio about what is the character, or who is the character you would like to play.
I think I'm going to be the essence, or some kind of like maybe a ghost or something, but the essence of the Tate Modern before it became this creepy doll museum.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How would you manifest yourself?
I would open doors for people. I would, if there's computer screens, I would talk through the computer screens at people over the tannoy, like that mysterious voice that appears over the tannoy.
Okay. So a bit like, for example, like a HAL 3000S type thing, perhaps.
Yes.
Or,
yes.
But obviously not rather than an AI. It is more the spirit of.
It's like so I can't remember the word of it. Michael probably tell me now. When a building creates the memory of things that have been there. And
stone tape theory.
Stone tape theory. Yeah, there we go. Kind of like that. The building has, because it's had so many people in it, it's kind of absorbed their energy and become sentient in a way.
Cool. And so for just the sake of the thing, so are you just going to refer to yourself as the essence of the Tate Modern, or entity previously known as the Tate Modern?
Yeah. Trying to relate it to Prince, but yeah, the building previously known as the Tate Modern.
Fantastic. Okay, building previously known.
And there's a weird like upside down triangle with lines going through it.
Well, I'm sure the Tate Modern has some sort of terrible logo that we all don't know that is the Tate Modern. Who's he?
Oh no, it's an old it's an old Pollock painting.
Oh man, building previously known as the Tate Modern. Fantastic. Okay. So, with that in mind, David, with this wonderful concept that you come up with, I want you to think of 4 skill verbs that apply to your character. So these could be, in normal RPGs, I say normal, in any RPG, you normally get stuff like athletics, acrobatics, survival, stealth, whatever. I want you to think of 4 unique skill things that are particular to your character. So, for example, for our other one-shot where we had the concept of the wind, we had blowing, as in blowing the wind, all that sort of thing. But basically, we're going to nail it down to 4 things. So the first, I want you to have a skill that you're amazing at, a skill that you're good at, a skill that you're bad at, and a skill that you're horrible at. And each
so it's amazing, good,
bad, and horrible at. And each one of those skills has a modifier to it. So normally when we're doing a mechanic, when you're doing a roll, you roll 2d6 plus one of your modifiers, essentially. So if the skill that you'll be amazing at will be a +2, the skill that you're good at is a +1, the skill that you're bad at is a -1, and the skill that you're horrible at is a -2. So what skills are you thinking?
So the amazing skill is going to be observation. Because I'm the building, I can see everything that's going on in there. There's cameras and things, and I'm aware. So not observation, awareness. I think is probably the better idea. I'm aware of the building and things that are going on in it. Okay. Good. Right, this is where I now have to think about how to play a building. The horrible one is going to be physical interaction. Or movement.
Movement. Okay.
I'm not running anywhere. Don't worry.
Well, you can't run. What's running?
No. Yeah, I can't move quickly anywhere.
Yeah, can't. We'll have it like that. Can't get quickly anywhere. That's the skill. All right. Can't. Well, I go. Maybe just have it get quickly anywhere, because what's going?
I can't move.
No. So
I can't move.
No. So what? This is the thing. So your 4 skills, the other 2 players will also have. That's the thing. So yes, that's what I'm trying to get to. So I think it's just
move quickly.
Move quickly is what it is, because you're going to be bad at it.
Yeah, move quickly.
Move quickly. So that's your bad one. Move quickly.
That's my horrible one.
Yep, your horrible one. Yep. So 2 more. Maybe
any hints from the audience as to how ghost building would.
Maybe like information or information.
That's kind of
retrieval?
what awareness.
No, I thought awareness it was like you can see things.
Not knowledge of history.
Knowledge. How about knowledge of art history?
Not well, the tape kind of has a lot of other things in it, but yeah, we could say art history.
How about knowledge?
It's kind of related to archaeology there.
How about knowledge of useless things?
You went there, not me.
I'm more thinking about the Tate itself rather than anything else.
Anybody in the Twitch chat that wants to offer any other ideas to go with this is more than welcome.
Absolutely.
Just for those in the chat and things who don't know, the Tate is a modern art gallery in London.
Knowledge of distasteful.
Lots of weird shit in there.
Yeah, there's audience participation in the chat is encouraged for this game, is it not?
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. So what was it? Knowledge of useless
things.
A +1.
That would be a +1 for David's one, yeah. But we'll go to the other players in a second. So knowledge of useless things. And what's
I would just point out that in the chat, the Archeo Gaming Collective have noted that archaeology isn't useless mostly.
Mostly. Well, we don't know what the one shot is yet, but maybe we'll find out.
I'm going to be bad at human interaction.
Okay.
I'm now changing all of the skills that I'd just chosen because you've just taken half of them for your character.
Let's say for interacting with. How about interacting with non-building beings? With non-building. Okay, so your skills, as I've got down, just to correct me, you're very good. You're amazing, David. Your character, the building previously known as a Tate Modern, is amazing at awareness. You're good at knowledge of useless things. You're bad at interacting with non-building beings, and you're awful at moving quickly. So those four skills.
Like me.
those
real life.
Those 4 skills, both Sarah and Mark also have, but their modifier is a +0. Just means you get the skill to use, but it's a +0 for you currently. All right, Mark, I'm gonna go to you next.
Yes, you can.
What's your character concept? What works in this strange world where there's a science fiction theme of Scooby-Doo, and we have already got the previous building known as a Tate Modern here?
My character's name is Arthur Pipistrel.
Excellent.
Arthur is a collector of Cabbage Patch Kid dolls.
Nice.
He has the world's largest collection, and he considers that Barbie and Ken are a sellout to the doll world.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Them some fighting words.
There are some fighting words. So are you able to give us a physical description of what Arthur looks like?
Yes, imagine a mouse, only a bit bigger.
Are you one of those things that kind of make...
Rat?
Very whiskery.
You tickle me every now and then, scratch me every now and then.
Favours brown as a clothing colour of choice.
Okay, mouse-like.
Slightly annoying voice.
Excellent. Brilliant. All right. So then, Mark, or Arthur, as you are now known as, same thing for you. So 4 skills that you have that are unique to you, so to speak. One that you're amazing at, one that you're good at, one that you're bad at, and one that you're awful at.
Arthur has a +2 in pedantry.
Pedantry. Excellent.
It's annoyingly pedantic.
We are not.
Okay.
Yep.
My +1, I'm going to take from the chat conversation, and I'm going to go with Animal Whisperer.
Oh,
my +1.
What's going to be mine?
So thanks for that one, chat.
Animal Whisperer, brilliant.
He does sadly have a -1 in fashion.
Fashion sense. How's that?
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
And awkwardly, a -2 in reading, or it could possibly be reading.
Fantastic. Okay, so we've got pedantry, animal whispering, fashion sense,
To
and reading.
be pedantic, that's animal whisperer.
Oh, very good. Whisperer. All right. So those 4 skills, both David and Sarah, you also have those, but at a 0 as well. Brilliant. And finally, last but by no means least, Sarah.
Right. So
Yes.
I am going to be the crazy bird lady that sits on the steps of the museum.
Excellent, crazy bird lady.
And I will be called Maud.
Nice.
Great name.
And Maud's always fed the birds outside the museum, but she's always wanted to make the things inside. No matter what the museum was, she was like, "Oh, I could do that. Oh, I could do that."
Oh, that's amazing. I love that.
I was going to have bird whisperer or animal whisperer as my +2, but I've decided to throw a curveball, and my +2 is, surprisingly, Maud is very good at backflips.
A secret
Secret
no
skill.
fact. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
She looks all weak and feeble on the steps, but she can backflip her way out of any situation.
I love that. I like the idea it's not even physical, but it could also be verbal.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So backflips.
Brilliant. Got a +1 in like baffling people with my ramblings.
Baffling people ramblings. Perfect.
And I'm struggling on my bad ones, so I'm very welcome to suggestions.
Things.
There was MacGyver skills.
Say that again.
There was MacGyver skills in the chat.
Ooh,
yes.
Yeah. I like that, MacGyver skills.
So is that something you're bad at or awful at, Maud?
I'm gonna get that'll be a -1.
MacGyver. So that's something you're bad at. Skills.
I don't know how you spell MacGyver. You'd spoil the fact it's in the chat.
Any other suggestions from chat? I haven't got it open at the moment.
There was Electronic Whiz.
I think
there was trap construction and disarmament was another one.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, so you're very bad at disarming.
Very bad. Yeah, because I want all the birds to be free.
Oh, so you're like, I'll help, and then you stick your hand in it and go, ah! Okay, so trap disarmament is something you're bad at.
Maud's trying to disarm a trap. Oh, no, we can't.
Yeah. Save yourselves.
She's on my roof again. She's after the spikes.
Walk quickly in the other direction.
Walk at an increasing pace.
Again.
All right, so just to clarify, so your skills, and for the other 2 as well, but these are at a +0, we have backflipping, baffling people with rambling, MacGyver skills, and trap disarmament.
But it's also been suggested that she's bad at trap disarmament, but she thinks that she's really good at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think for the cause of releasing these birds. Absolutely. Yeah. Excellent. All right. The final thing we have to do is that we've got 12 skills. I need to now come up with the other 4 skills to make the setting work. So let's just see what we've got. Awareness, knowledge of useless things, interacting with non-building beings, moving quickly, pedantry, animal whisperer, fashion sense, reading/reading, backflips, baffling people with rambling, MacGyver skills, and trap disarmament. And I was just going to remind you guys that this is a science fiction/Scooby-Doo setting, which is mysterious, but also has a museum of the world's largest Barbie doll collection.
Good luck.
There's meant to be some connection to archaeology in this as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I think
digging.
Yeah, let's put digging in there. Good idea, chaps. All right, digging is 1. Ooh, look at that sound. Got disarming traps. You've got talking. You've got interacting. Yeah, if there's any extra skills in the chat, please let us know. Those people who are watching the chat, that would also be helpful. Just gonna look around the room for inspiration. Oh, I know. Maybe moving slowly. 'Cause we've got moving quickly. Let's have moving slowly as well.
We've got the science side covered with knowledge of useless things.
Yes.
So
I assume. Yeah, it's a justification for that.
Okay, stealth has been suggested.
Yep. All right. How about making sense of a map or making sense of directions, like using directions or something like that.
That's map reading.
Map reading. There we go. Map reading.
Orienteering.
Orienteering. Map reading. Orienteering. Yeah.
Ooh, what have we done? I think I've just deleted. No, I haven't.
I was like, I hope you've not deleted the chat because we need that.
No, I thought I deleted all my notes.
Yeah, navigational skills has been suggested to sum that up.
Brilliant. Thank you, chat. Well, yeah, navigation skills. Perfect.
Do you need any more?
One more, if there is one.
I'm going to take one. I'm going to take a suggestion. It's not an actual suggestion from the chat, but it's a word that's been used in the chat, which is enthusiasm.
Yes, we'll have that. Enthusiasm.
It's either that or identifying pottery shards, which wasn't in the chat. But,
no. We've got digging. That covers it. It's fine. All right.
Mixing random ingredients together is another suggestion.
Oh, I like that.
Not eating artifacts is another one. We'll get all of this in.
Oh my god, yes, I love that.
There's obviously the meme of what you do with sciences, and it's like, can you lick it?
Mm.
What was that?
Banging rocks together.
You know what? What was that one about mixing things together?
Mixing random ingredients together.
All right, I'm going to get rid of moving slow. Actually, that probably that. We'll have that mixing random ingredients together because I really like that one. Thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot of suggestion that licking artifacts is okay. I can assure you it's not, because I played a game of Solemn Vale where I licked the walls of a mine to see whether it was safe, and it didn't go well.
No.
All right, so we have our 16 skills. We have our 16 skills. We've got awareness, knowledge of useless things, interacting with non-building beings, moving quickly, pedantry, animal whisperer, fashion sense, reading/reading, backflips, baffling people with ramblings, MacGyver skills, trap disarmament, and now we've got digging, mixing random ingredients, navigation skills, and enthusiasm. And those for my players, that's a +0 in those as well. Right. Okay, so we've created our setting. We've created our characters. Next, what we're going to do, we're going to have 5 minutes where I'm going to go on mute and panically write a whole one-shot about this. The one thing I would say, I will ask my players to engage the chat and chat about themselves about what they think this could be. And also give me a timer as well of 5 minutes when I say so, because that will be useful.
Yep.
Anyway, but there was one last thing. Oh, I'll quickly talk about the mechanic before we do that. So the mechanics, at any time, they're a player wants to do something, a character wants to do something, and the outcome may be questionable or in some doubt. I'm going to ask the players to roll a 2d6 and then use one of the skills that they have for it. Now they can justify what skill they want to use, but I'm going to be cruel and say I think it's this, so it's something that they might be bad at. Now, if they get, if they get a 6 or lower, that is a failure, so they do not get to do what they want to do. If it's between a 6 and a 9, it's a mixed success, so they get what they want to do, but at a cost. They only get partially what they want. And then finally, a 10 to 12, that is a full success. They get exactly what they want. And that's basically it. If at any one point they do fail a check, they can put a little tally, and basically they can add a +1 to the next check they do, up to a maximum +2. And as soon as they use that, it goes back away then. So basically the idea is that we're failing forward, essentially. You're not always going to be failing at stuff. But as we've played, well, most of us have played in a game with David, failing forward is not something that he's very good at. So we'll find out how that
very
works.
good at the failing.
Yes. Brilliant.
I've had my dice rolls for this month, for this year, I think, now in this game. So yeah.
Brilliant. All right, so I'm going to go on mute. When the 5 minutes is up, whoever keep in charge, just wave at me, because I'm going to take my headphones off to concentrate. I'll see you in a bit, chaps.
Good luck.
Right, so how can we ruin Fiona's life?
Okay, so here we go. We have Fiona has 5 minutes to write an entire campaign. We have 5 minutes to decide how to make her life difficult during this game. So yes, the chat is we're open to suggestions.
Yes.
And I can now finally see the chat.
We are very much about interacting with the chat today. We want people to be involved and provide the funny that I'm going to fail to provide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Push us along when we need it.
We will endeavour to provide an interesting and amusing and entertaining game scenario based on whatever rubbish we just came up with. Let's rely on the chat to put some archaeology into it on our behalf. This sounds like a plan with no drawbacks.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna guess there's people somewhere in the chat that actually know what archaeology is, other than Time Team, where you do speed and you dig big holes really, really quickly with a digger.
I know what archaeology is. We watched The Mummy the other day.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's got Imhotep in it, it's fine.
It's got mummies in it. Was that the one with Tom Cruise?
No, the original.
Good version then.
The proper one. Yeah.
I can tell you a lot about space archaeology.
Space archaeology.
Ooh.
Yeah. For the benefit of the chat, we're enjoying this too much because we've just finished playing a campaign which David ran of Free League's new Aliens RPG, and it was there was a lot of death.
Yes,
there's a lot of death.
A lot more death if I'd have realised that the character sheets were wrong. But yes, it was a good week, good couple of sessions.
Yeah, if anybody wants to watch us playing Aliens and dying horribly, they can do so on David's Drunken Storyteller Twitch stream. It was
randomly murdering people.
Yeah.
Like he meets them and then shoots them in the head for no real reason.
Okay, then here we go. So first you have to examine the dolls for cultural significance, then break them into categories, then rank those categories by time era.
Ooh.
I like how the fact that the break is not really specified here. Are we breaking the individual parts into categories?
These are the arms. These are the legs.
I think we can break them into categories easily as Barbie and Ken. There we go. So they're broken into 2 categories. That's fine.
And in some dark corner, there is a Cindy somewhere.
We don't talk about Cindy.
The secret of Cindy.
To be fair, Arthur doesn't talk about Barbie and Ken.
Has Arthur seen things?
Arthur's too busy with his Cabbage Patch Kid collection to see things.
We've got another minute or so before we need to wave at
Yes,
Fiona.
we have. Fiona has 1 minute. I'm going to message her on Discord.
Oh, I think she looked up then and kind of grinned at us. I think she's listening.
Yeah, she's taken her headphones off, but she's got them turned up sufficiently that she can hear everything we've been saying.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Especially the bits about her.
Apparently we also have to map them.
We have to map them.
Oh, in all the areas of the museum?
The head's at the top and the feet are at the bottom. I'm just going to make sure.
Is that when we need the black and white stick next to them with the photograph?
Yes.
Photograph them, map them, photograph them, repatriate them.
And as Arthur might want, melt them down.
We are in England, and therefore you guys are in England.
I have messaged Fiona on Discord and told her there's 60 seconds to go, but she's ignored me. Can't do anything without proper documentation.
There we go. That's about time.
Yeah.
There we go.
Right, everybody wave at Fiona.
Hi, Fiona.
I think she knows. There we go. Good.
Oh, well, for that last Google, let me just finish that last Google.
You have to unmute yourself, Fiona, otherwise we won't know what you've done.
Oh, what have I done? I was doing a last Google for something.
That's called cheating.
Well, you know what? We'll do it live, shall we, folks?
Way.
We'll do it
It'll be
live,
fine.
folks.
The
Yes.
chat's been very helpful on the archaeology while you've been gone.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
But we've also been told
Whoops.
we're allowed to burn them.
Burn what? The chat? I don't want to do that. I don't know them.
No, the dolls.
Oh.
The doll.
Oh no. Oh well. Let me just.
No,
Burn them if they're cursed.
Oh, that's our idea. Go on.
Through, but I'm not a fan of the heat. I'm English. I don't like the heat.
Oh. So I have a very, very poorly sketched idea. Are you guys ready to play You Awaken in a Strange Place?
We are ready to play
Fantastic.
You Awaken in a Strange Place.
Okay.
I don't know whether the chat is ready to watch
I
us
know.
play it, but we're ready to play it.
Okay. So, you awaken in a strange place, including you, the entity of previously known as the Tate Modern. It's weird. For so long, you as a Tate Modern, you've known things are coming and going through your doors. You feel the rooms, busy with life a moment, but currently, right now, dead. You are awake and you can sense it. You're sort of in and out of it, and you know that there are two people within the grand main hall, which I think it's called the Turbine Hall, but I didn't have time to check.
Yeah.
With two people in it. You see a lady.
There's clouds in it.
Yes, that's the one. You see a lady covered in birdseed, maybe looking a little bit dour, maybe with a bit of scratches and claw marks, perhaps, of various times that she's disarmed traps to get birds out, and the birds haven't been as grateful. You also see what we've described as a mouse of a man wearing brown, called Arthur. You are both there, and you both Arthur and Maud, maybe you've known each other, maybe you passed each other earlier, but you just had a moment and suddenly you blink and you are here within the grand sort of main turbine hall of what was previously known as Tate Modern, but as we all know, it is now called the Barbie's Dream House. You look down and you can see both of you has a little badge that says, "Hello, my name is," and your name is stamped on it, and it's ridiculously flowery writing, big smiles and lots of stickers essentially. And as you look around the turbine hall, it has changed somewhat. Maud, I know you're sitting on the outside with the birds perhaps, but you've not been in, certainly in many years, because nobody ever goes in, nobody ever goes out. And you look around and the walls themselves, they are daubed with various stick figure drawings of what looks like thousands of people, tall people, short people, big, round, short and thin, almost like kids' drawings, but at human-sized height, essentially, almost as if there's been a crowd. And those people who have been to London and been to that grand turbine hall, it is all the way around. Maybe a little bit. Not
on the top floor and inside the turbine as well, or
no, just as if when you come into the building, think of it. I didn't want to put this reference in. Think of it as a bit Blair Witchy, but not. But there's just these stick figures with happy beaming faces drawn on. And you both of you look around and you can hear the sound of applause, but coming from one floor above, and you can see up there are lights that you can see both Maud and Arthur. What would you guys like to do? And I'll come to the building previously known as Tate Modern in a second.
Wow. That's quite an opener. Thinking, am I stood with Arthur?
Yeah, you are literally as if you've just plonked into existence at the front, one of the front doors, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But you still have all your stuff. You probably have birdseed in one pocket. Maybe you've got a couple of birds under one arm. I've said that now, so that's a thing. Yeah, but you have stuff, and the last thing you remember, you were feeding your birds. Maybe you were getting your hand out of yet another trap, trying to get a bird out, and then blink, and you were here.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is put my birds down, because they might want to leave and we might be able to follow them to an exit.
You put them down, one of them sort of keels over a little bit, and then gets righted by the other two.
Propped back up. Ooh.
What about you, Arthur? What are you thinking?
Arthur looks at Maud. Says, hello.
Hello. Are you Arthur?
Yes, you can see it. It's on my badge. My name is Arthur. And this, he reaches into a rucksack and pulls out a Cabbage Patch doll with a slightly green face. This is Lorna. Say hello to Lorna, Maud.
Oh, Lorna looks a bit menacing. I'm not sure if I want to say hello.
Say hello to Lorna, Maud.
Hello, Lorna.
In the background, you hear a kind of deep, resonant, almost echo of that. Hello, Lorna.
Lorna doesn't like you, Maud. She's going away now. He puts Lorna back in his backpack.
I like the idea that the backpack is, you can now that you know it's there, it's sort of like off one side behind Arthur's like head, staring at you, Maud.
Oh dear.
Arthur now looks like Zaphod Beeblebrox with a Lorna head on one shoulder.
Absolutely.
Well, I think as Arthur, have you been here before?
Yes, I've been here before.
Do you come here often?
I was here when it was the Tate, you know.
It's
Before
strange.
all of that was put here.
How did you get here today?
Well, it's quite interesting. I got a number 36 from Dulwich until I could get to the tube, and then I took the Circle line as far as Paddington. I changed, and then I went to Trafalgar Square, got off there. I had a quick walk around, had a nice sandwich in that sandwich shop just off Trafalgar Square. You know, that little side bread. Can't remember its name. I forget now.
I wouldn't know. They don't let me in.
Do they not?
No.
I'm not surprised. It was a lovely sandwich and cheese and pickle. It was.
The clapping is still going on, by the way, like up the stairs as you're having this conversation. The building previously known as the Tate, you sort of, you're taking your time to wake up, and you are aware of these two entities talking inanely. Like, it's weird that normally you would just, the name chatter drowns out, so you can't pick out various people's names, voices. But you sort of shift your consciousness down to the entrance hall. You have that little exchange of "Hello, Lorna," and there is conveniently a speaker box right next to where these two are. You can chip in at any point.
Would you two mind keeping it down a little? The curry that was flushed last night has left me with a headache. Slightly crackly, but also kind of slightly sleepily, maybe what you'd expect a hungover person to sound like.
And as you look at the speaker, both of you can see almost like a face has appeared, Disney style, with the sort of things, and as the voice comes out, the speaker also moves animation style.
The lips protrude.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Tentacles.
And as well, the building previously known as the Tate Modern, you know that you can also hear, now you can hear the clapping. That's very unusual to hear clapping unless, well, an event, some sort of celebratory event is happening.
What time is it?
Time?
Do we have, like, obviously, there's going to be clocks in the building.
Yeah.
There are clocks inside me, so...
Sorry. There's currently no clocks in the big turbine hall, famously.
I think we should make our way upstairs. Can the essence of the Tate see anything up there?
I can hear noises, and it's doing things to me. The clapping is vibrating inside me. It's not fun. There should be more people, and it's usually more calming than this weird quiet, but not quiet. Can I see inside that room? Can I do an awareness?
Yes, you can. So 2d6 plus your awareness and tell me what the result is.
Wait. Welcome back to my normal dice rolling. Yay. But with the +2, that is a 5.
5. Unfortunately, that is a failure. But because you failed, you can take 1 to your next roll, if you wish to. So you are, again, you're shrugging off that curry you had. Yeah, there was a bigger corporate event at some point. You can't remember when, so it's taking you this long to shut it out of your system. All you know is that it's coming from a room that is, it's weird. It's not been used before, or at least to your knowledge. This is a new room, even for you, building previously known as a. But you know where it is, but you can't. As you try and shift your consciousness to a nearby security camera or a nearby speaker, or even one of those electronic displays where you could put like an emoji face on and look around. It's something's interfering with your systems.
The clapping. It's. I guess you can see a room. Can you see where it? It is not available to me. It's like someone has booked it out of me.
Somebody's booked it in the system and it says private event.
Sign on the door.
Nothing appears to be coming from upstairs.
Shall we make our way up?
We should ascend to the upper level. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe there are 23 stairs between this level and the upper level.
You are quite right there. Can't say the words. You're quite right there.
As you're saying that, they've already left, and you're like, damn it! Brilliant. So I'm guessing Arthur is leading the way. So Arthur, can you make for me a navigation skill check? Let me know what you get. So that, I think it's just 2d6 plus 0.
It's a 7.
A 7. So that is a mixed success. So you start leading off, and yes, indeed, there are 23 steps up to the next level. You sort of do a little mini like fist pump internally, obviously, that you got that right. Leading the way. When you get to the top there, you can see that there are lights, like almost like sconces at various points. As you get closer to these sconces, you can see that they're not made out of what a traditional sconce would be made out. Would be some sort of iron, maybe some metal with some rag in it, with some oil, perhaps. No, these. It's weird. It looks like it's made. The whole thing is made out of little bricks, and almost been made together, like in some sort of, I don't know, master builder invention, with clear bricks acting as a fire, essentially, with some sort of light inside, and they sort of light your way. But it's weird. As you go to the top, the clapping, it starts to echo around the whole room. So you're not entirely sure which direction to go. So you get to the top, and you can see maybe you're at like a T-junction, essentially. So you get to the top, and there's like left, right, and forward. And you can't really pinpoint where the clapping is coming from. But it sounds like there are lots of clapping. You can hear a couple of like woohoos as well, and yay, and yay. Lots of different heights and pitches.
Things that sound like clapping coming out of my window at the moment. I think there's a moth or a wasp or a hornet.
I was going to say probably your hornets. That's.
For the benefit of the chat, David has discovered today that there is a hornet's nest above his room. So, yes, if he disappears,
scream and disappear.
It's hornet related.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be replaced by a hornet at some point.
Just out of universe for a moment there. Okay. So these sconces look like they're made of Lego.
Yes. Or a brand of Lego, if we need to be, other Lego alternatives are available.
So Duplo then.
Oh, it's more. No, it's the really micro bricks ones, the really rubbish ones.
The really small ones.
Yeah, yeah. But but that means they are.
I used to sell those. They used to be in the gift shop.
Yeah, but that means that these sconces are really intricate. So, like from a far away view, they look like actual sconces, but really close up. So you think this has taken some time to put them all together, but also they're off-brand and therefore a bit naff to anyone that's a Lego connoisseur such as yourself.
It's almost as you walk towards it, it becomes a bit pixelated.
You know what? It's exactly like that.
Are we now playing in Minecraft?
Yeah.
No. So you have an option of going left, right, or forward. What's the plan?
Are there any stick figures on this level?
Oh, good question. There aren't any on this particular level. Instead, there are other drawings of various scenes, almost like cave drawings to an extent. And you can see again, it looks like the building that you're in because you recognise it's the Tate Modern. It's a really ugly looking building, and you see lots of people but it's like really small squiggles, and then there's like a big scuffly thing that happens, and then people leaving the building, and then lots of little sad faces, but very very small, but loads of them. Very sad at the people. And there's different scenes pictured around of different things, essentially. One is like a picture of a small child holding what looks like two action figures together, looking really, really happy. Another one is maybe, I'm trying to think of anything. What do children do? There's like a little cooking station, perhaps, that's been drawn, and somebody's like trying to sell plastic sandwiches and giving fake money and all that sort of thing. Somebody has a market stall stand, as I used to have one as
like a little dingy till.
Yeah, bung. Yeah, exactly. Well, what I would say is that those are the drawings on the wall. There isn't anything like that. Like, it looks like an old art gallery. There's some seats and stuff like that, but it doesn't seem to be any debris. There doesn't seem to be anything littering the hallways. The hallways themselves are clear.
Do I recognise the artwork, or is it something that is new to me as well?
It is brand new to you as well. You probably come into another speaker at the top, or one of those electronic boards, whatever you see fit. And yeah, this is actually shocking to you.
A small little iPad.
Oh well, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? It's an iPad that one of the other two can pick up.
And we can carry around with us.
Yes, well, and it's, you know what? It's got 100% battery because it's been plugged in all this time, so you don't have to worry about it. But yes, so you've been picked up and taken around. But yeah, even for you, and maybe you feel a bit strange about it because essentially you basically, the building that formerly known as Tate Modern, you've woken up with a ton of tattoos that you didn't know you had and don't know who's done them or how you got them, essentially, and they're all on your insides.
I feel like I have gone to this place that I have heard mentioned called Ibiza. I've got a raging headache and there's these drawings on me. I've heard this is a thing you humans like to do. There's like a party and then people draw on each other.
These look like prehistoric cave art.
It looks very primitive, indeed. So,
is there anything around that tells us what the date is? A discarded newspaper, perhaps, or
good question.
A magazine or something?
Why don't you roll a awareness check for me?
Because I'm rubbish at rolling.
I know.
Oh look, I've rolled a 10.
A 10, so you succeed.
I have genuinely rolled a 10. I didn't make it up.
No, I know.
It's a 10.
Very good. So yes, you conveniently look around, and there is you look at the iPad that has the being formerly known as a Tate Modern on it, and in the little corner it says 5 minutes past midnight on the day I think it is.
Right, okay. So it's not suddenly like the 1800s or something.
No. Like, yeah, you've not travelled in time.
Okay.
Per se. Well, you've travelled in time, but not like maybe a couple of hours.
Right. Okay. We've just travelled in logic.
Yes, that mysterious science fiction thing, logic.
Yes. Okay. Good. probably not good.
Is Iron Maiden single playing 5 minutes past midnight in the background?
Sadly
I've got a funny feeling I know why there's a lot of clapping.
Oh dear.
But Arthur doesn't, because that's not common knowledge yet. So let's just plough on regardless, shall we? I'm very intrigued by all this clapping.
Well, the clapping's coming from up here, but I think we need to look for some kind of information board to see where we need to go.
As you say that, the screen of the iPad starts to flicker and change as I try to portray that to you. And I don't know whether it works or not. What would I need to roll for that to portray an information map board?
A map board? I would say. Ooh, let me look at your skills, everyone.
Enthusiasm?
Enthusiasm.
Knowledge of useless things.
I was going to say knowledge of useless things, or MacGyver skills, because you're trying to get something and then try and show it on the map, perhaps. We've already done navigation, so.
I would say knowledge of useless things because it's myself, and the only thing that is useful about this map is the fact that it's about myself and nothing else in the world.
All right, I'll let you have that, even though I know it's a +1 to you. So that's 2d6 +1. Let me know what you get.
I've just lost one of the dice across the floor, but they both come out as 3, so it's a 6 +1 is 7.
Oh, a mixed success. All right. So what happens is that you ping, and a really cute 3D model comes up of the tape, and conveniently you manage to triangulate where the clapping is from, and you sort of point, and it is down a corridor, whatever one I said, like, let's go right. And you sort of pings, but unfortunately it takes up a lot of your energy. Your battery life goes down to 50%. So you might need to find some other source of power to keep you, if you're going to keep mobile and stuff, because you are aware that it's quite a struggle for you to keep moving from place to place, shifting your conscious, so to speak. But you...
And as it comes up, you just hear a kind of from the screen. Then the image appears and it flashes at this point.
Yeah.
And you just see it as not the room that you kind of expect to see.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a room off of us. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm trying not to look at your face. So yeah, it's a room.
Oh,
it's a
storm.
Oh, very cool. So there is, yeah. So it pings, and you both Maud and Arthur. You look up and you can see. Yeah, you can actually hear the clapping, and now you can hear sort of a little as if somebody's giving a small talk. In one of the halls, one of the big art gallery halls, down one of the ways. What would you guys like to do?
I think we should investigate this.
Definitely. You can totter off down the hall.
All right. Are you moving quickly?
I would say speed walk.
All right. How about everybody make for me a move quickly roll, including you, for being that is a Tate Modern, and let me know what people get.
10.
6.
Success, failure. Can't see it, David.
Mark, you know these dice.
Is it 2 6s? Yeah.
That looks like 2 6s to me. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's in dice 2 6s. I like these dice. I'm going to use these more often. And
Yeah.
that's with a minus, and then I have to have a minus
-2
because I'm horrible at moving. But that's 10.
That's 10. So that's 2 successes, 1 failure.
2 successes and a Maud.
And a Maud. Absolutely.
I Mauded it again.
Yeah, maybe Maud, you're sort of getting there, and maybe you realise your pigeons or your birds, sorry, are behind you, and you're like, oh, and of course they're tootling along and they're not moving as quickly, so you're maybe left behind a little bit, but you
I have
catch
to go
up.
back for them.
Yeah, maybe you drop one, and you're like, oh no, Cedric, and you pick Cedric up and put him in your pocket. Anyway, you do get there eventually, but you have made a little bit of noise getting there, but you think overall you've done all right. You get to 2 great big oak doors, which I know is very traditional in the modern Tate Modern. But there's the cracked jar. Doors are cracked, ajar. Or they are ajar, cracked open. I don't know words. There's a gap. Okay, there's a gap which you can look through. There are sconces all the way forward as well, and you can peek in, see what is happening. And inside, it is a vast, huge sort of chamber, decked out with various different sort of, I'd say, different size seats, but none's bigger than like a child's, like an under fives stool essentially. And on every single stool is sat all manner of children's toys. You have in one corner you have a load of action men and Professor X's. Mr. X. I can't remember what he's called. The evil dude. And that. You have on the other side. You have various big walking dolls. You also have pull toys or whatever, and they're all sort of sitting there waiting silently. It looks very much like a council chamber, one may say. You can also see dotted around this chamber, there looks to be several different sort of bears, all of different colours, all with different symbols on their chests. They're all sort of standing there, each with like a spear made out of candy canes, or with a sharpened edge to it. And every so often they sort of like on the floor now, and they always sort of say, "Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us." As the various council sessions come to a close. At the top, in between the different, I can't look at David now. You can see there's the different rows of chairs that they're all facing each other. You say several rows on one side, several rows on the other side, and they're sort of facing each other. In the middle, you see on almost like a little stage across almost like two podiums essentially facing each other on a very precarious sort of like little books and little bits of stuff that are basically made up because both these speakers talking across each other and sort of discussing it really passionately are quite short, small plastic dolls. On one side you have a plastic doll with long blonde hair in a beautifully pink fitness activewear outfit. On her feet, you see very pink shoes with almost like suckers on, and she has suckers on her hand as well. She also has like a plastic molded headset with a cassette player on her side, looking like very 90s, very sort of cute. And she's doing a lot of hand waving and sort of talk to the hand and then doing various active poses essentially. On the other side, activewear, exactly. Whoop. On the other side, you see a less glamorous looking plastic doll. Similar sort of shape, similar sort of hairdo, etc., but not as glamorous, just like very generic clothing, almost like a bit more of an off-brand plastic doll. On the back, you can see making out the words Stacy, but you're not entirely sure, essentially. So you have two dolls sort of talking to each other, and they're talking very passionately in very high-pitched voices, because again, I'd say you're quite far away from them looking through the door, like almost Brady Bunch style, and you can hear them all sort of passionately arguing at each other, whilst you have these bear guards around, and everyone's listening in awe, and then every so often there's like...
Arthur leans across to Maud and says, "I didn't know better. I'd say this was some kind of meeting between female stereotype Barbie and cheap imitation Barbie."
Can you roll for me, pedantic, please?
That's an 11 plus 2, 13.
You're quite correct. Indeed it is.
Well,
as the battery starts dying, you hear, "Come on, Barbie, let's go party." Slowly fade out as the iPad dies.
Maud, hearing Arthur's pedantry, is going to ramble back at him to confuse him of what he's looking at.
Ooh, so what are you saying?
I'm going to tell him that whilst he may feel that these are stereotypes, that in fact this is clearly a meeting of high intellectual beings.
Yes, roll baffling people with ramblings, Maud.
5.
Ooh, that is a failure. So whilst
Arthur's like, I'm sorry, Maud. Lorna disagrees with you.
+1 is 6. Is that still a fail?
Still a failure, unfortunately.
Lorna disagrees with you very much, Maud.
So this is very interesting. So as Arthur's leading to whisper to you, you're not used to this pedantry business going on. So Maud, you sort of go, well, actually, blah 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 blah, and then Arthur goes, well, Lorna thinks differently. Two things happen, mostly because you both just shouted at each other in a very quiet moment whilst the proceedings were coming to a brief gap. You realise as you look back into the room, every single head of every one of these dolls, every one of these toys, has sort of turned slowly towards you.
Has their body stayed facing the same way and the head's just...
Yeah, it's basically like... But on top of that, you conveniently, Arthur, brought out Lorna, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what happens is that as you pull out this doll from this thing, from your backpack, you feel this doll shift and turn round in your hands. Like the head turns round. I know Cabbage Patch Kids don't work like that, but this one does. Turns its head all the way round and goes, excuse me, could you let me go? I'm actually late for my appointment. I also don't like being in that backpack. It's very uncomfortable, strictly speaking.
How long has he been keeping you in there, Lorna?
Oh, ages. You know, I wouldn't have minded being back in my box, so I'm more collectible like that. But apparently, the box, it got a little bit of it, and it goes on like this. But it's also going at a speed that's very similar to Arthur's. But also, everyone is now watching the door.
The chat has just informed us that the talk after this on the con is a horror-themed talk. So,
warming you up, folks. Don't worry.
Segue. It's a segue in progress.
As you're sort of stood there, like sort of as Lorna is speaking, you hear a poof, 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 as the guard of the Care Bears comes, and they go, Toys R Us, Toys R Us, Toys R Us. Halt! Who goes there? Toys R Us. And they open the door a little bit. So he goes, yes, come in, and Noah's better. Toys R Us. And you see
Can you stop smacking those spears against the floor? It's giving me terrible tummy ache.
Ooh,
every time they smack the cane on the floor, my bird's just like, ooh, ooh, just fluttering all around.
Oh, okay. First of all, David, can you make for me interact with non-building beings, please?
No, I can't.
Please.
No, as in I can't. I got a 3.
Ooh. They ignore you completely.
No surprise.
No surprise. The Care Bears will usher you guys in with the thing, and they'll make you stand in the little box that is in between the rows, and you see everyone sort of whispering close, like going, "Oh, don't have new people here. Oh, I hope they've got tickets. Oh."
Can I? How do I enter? Obviously, because it's not a room that I've been aware of before within myself. Does it suddenly become? Do I suddenly become aware of it?
For ease, one of these two has an external battery with the correct adapter to plug into that iPad, and you're brought in through that way. Yes,
I'm okay with that.
Yes, for ease. And yeah,
in the Pixel movies, I'm like the Pixel face on the Pixel
you're
movies
like
now.
You know what? You're like a modern Tamagotchi. How's that? But yes, and as you're brought into the room, the being that was formerly known as Tate Modern, you suddenly like, oh yeah, this room. Yes, I remember this room. This is the room that had the elephant dung in it that one time. Oh, terrible. But
Can you stop playing Snake on me, please?
The leader.
I have better uses for my time.
The leader of the Barbies, of Work It Out Barbie, turns around and goes, "What is the meaning of this intrusion? Have you come to help us with the motion?" Poses.
You are inside me. You are intruding on me. I am unaware of you. Therefore, Explain yourselves.
And they sort of look, and they go back to Maud and Arthur and goes, well, it's quite simple, really. Everybody left. We had people here for our first exhibition way back when, and, well, we discovered an artifact that made us alive. But only we would be alive and playing and stuff when there was children around and people who appreciated us. And you can see opposition Stacy, as we'll call her, sort of fold her plastic arms, sort of, because they're molded. And it's like, but they left. They left because, well, it was the end of the summer holidays and they went back to schools and nobody wanted to see a bunch of washed up toys. And well, people just stopped coming, and then, well, the artifact disappeared. And now we are stuck here. No one to play with us, no one to appreciate our worth, our value, our impact. And now we are just here. And until we find the artifact, we can't leave this place. We don't mean to be here. And Stacey sort of gestures towards the iPad. We don't want to be here anymore, but if we leave this building, well, then we cease to be. It will be like a death for us. And in your hands, Arthur, Lorna is sort of looks and goes, well, actually, I was about to give a talk on how it's important, but obviously, we're not allowed to move quickly, so to speak. So I had to bide my time. Hitch a lift.
So, are you suggesting, says Arthur to Lorna, that it will be of benefit to you if I help? Looks at Work It Out Barbie and just goes, them.
Yes,
that goes against everything that my brown persona believes in.
Lorna puts a slightly chubby, soft felt hand on your shoulder, or on your knee. She probably props it down, and she goes, "I know, but there's something called character development. I'm hoping you get towards the end of this one shot. So the way you get that is if you help and give in at this one moment." But also, there will be something, like, if you're able to help, there will be something for you. This artifact, if you're able to take the artifact, maybe you can get it valued and stuff, because once we get this artifact out of here, get it retrieved, we can leave. Well,
do you remember where it was last seen?
Work It Out Barbie turns to you, goes, not where, well, it's not we call it an artifact, but it's a bit more than that. And they conveniently, an overhead old school projector turns on, and the silhouette of what is clearly the original Ken doll appears. And on it, it's like, artifact? ? Now,
Arthur
pulls down the screen.
Arthur advances to Work It Out Barbie and says, you haven't by any chance amongst the people in this room got a scientist Barbie and an archaeologist Barbie, have you?
Way! And then they turn over to the expert panel, and you have NASA Barbie, you have all the different variations of Barbies that I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Name a Barbie, she's there.
Some are just holding beakers.
You know what? Even work from home Barbie is in on a laptop.
Are you suggesting
Barbie is there on a small little iPad and like, I don't recognize that iPad. That's not part of me.
Go for it, Arthur.
Are you suggesting, says Arthur in consultation with the chat,
yeah,
that this is some kind of, not the you get an artifact trope?
I don't know why. I think that Stacey goes, what chat? Look, we know it's a bit stereotypical, this artifact having to be a man, but literally we've narrowed it down. It's not the dream camper van. It's not any of the siblings, Chelsea, Stacey, and the other one, what we don't talk about. It has to be Ken. It has to be the original Ken.
So the artifact is a Ken doll, because I misheard you and thought you said Kindle and thought that would be a very strange
that would
artifact.
be amazing. What is a Kindle?
Hold me up higher, Arthur. Hold me up higher, Maud. Let me see what they are talking about. The camera on the iPad is not good at this distance. What are they talking about here?
Arthur's like, oh, sorry, I've got you on front facing. Hang on.
Yeah, you're just like getting the chins.
Don't poke me so hard.
The chins.
Can I attach the iPad to one of my birds?
That sounds,
Awesome.
yeah. Tell you what, that's a MacGyver skill. Go for it.
Apparently,
Oh
so
no.
Super Angry Shrimp has turned up.
Hey.
Apparently, he thought you were saying Kendall as well. So
Well, that was the artifact of the giant mint cake.
yeah. All the sugar with mint and chocolate.
Sorry, it's clearly the accent. The artifact for those in the chat is a Ken doll, i.e., Barbie's partner, ex-partner. What, we've not got to that point yet.
Male friend.
Sure. So sorry, Sarah, Maud. What was the role?
Yes. So including the -2, I got 0.
Oh no. Okay, so
No.
Cedric.
No.
Cedric isn't happy.
Couldn't be worse.
Could not be worse. What I was saying, so everyone has 10 hit points in this game. You take 2 points of damage as Cedric just sort of scratches you, and you drop the iPad with the being formerly known as the
Tate Modern.
That's the one, Tate Modern. I was going to say Modern Tate. As a result of that, so not only do you take damage, Maud, Tate Modern, your front face, the camera that you're looking out of, so that rear camera is slightly grubby.
Looking at the floor.
No, it's slightly grubby. It's got a bit of bird stuff on it. So
It's still. So I was going to say, has he not just dropped me face down? So the camera is literally just staring at the floor now.
Yeah, it is. And a pigeon comes over, Simon, and is like, and then
Just pecking at the screen.
Yeah.
This reminds me of a time when I used to have security cameras outside until someone started knocking them all off. I remember this lady decided that the birds didn't like them and started messing with all my security. Can someone stop this pigeon? You have never been this close to a pigeon before. It is not a pleasant experience. I am seeing things that I never wished I'd ever seen in my life.
Arthur, with his +1 in animal whispering, will have a word with the pigeon.
Go for it. Yes.
It's a 3. +2, a +1. It's a 4.
The pigeon looks at you, and if a pigeon could roll its eyes, it does. It rolls one eye and rolls the other eye, and then back and forth. Suddenly,
Told you, pigeons are weird. Can you make it stop doing this? I'm feeling discombobulated.
The door on the other side of this room bursts open, and the camera, if it was at your heights, would look up and then not see anything, and then look down as a small, looking around the room for anything, any toys, a small pudsey bear dressed as the 10th Doctor comes running in, and it's like, we must find it soon. It is almost dawn. And it's like, and so work it out, Barbie. And forget the roleplay because I realise we've got 34 minutes left. It says she will organise a crack team to help you if you will find this object for them, and you'll be handsomely rewarded. Yes, there we go. So moving on to Act 2.
I will, says Arthur.
Yeah.
Arthur says that he will promise to help work it out, Barbie, with the task of retrieving the artifact, as long as in return she promises to open a Cabbage Patch gallery, which is bigger than the Barbie gallery.
Is the Doctor being chased by some weird people from the future?
Oh, good question. Make an awareness check for me, see if you can tell. Yes, for you.
Yes. I got 9 on that.
9 on that. Fantastic. We'll come to you in a second. So for Arthur, I want you. Got it. Do pedantic again.
That's a 5 plus 2, 7.
7. Mixed success. She says, we'll put it to a vote. And if there is a slight majority, we'll consider it in a committee. And then probably not do it. But we will. I have heard your concerns, and we appreciate everything that the Cabbage Patch Kids have done for us. And you see at this point Lorna roll her eyes as well. Being previously known as a Tate Modern, you look and you can see very, very tiny little toy tanks that have been mocked up to be Daleks, but they're so small and insignificant that they're not points. There's no relevance to this plot. They're very mysterious.
Is the commander a one-eyed person screaming about the One Ring?
Sadly not. Sadly not. They're more talking about I can't remember where the Daleks are from now, and it doesn't matter for this story. Maud, is there anything you'd like to do before you go on this trip to find the mysterious Ken doll?
Well, I'm so shocked at Arthur and Lorna's suggestion of a Cabbage Patch section that I'd do a backflip.
Yes, absolutely. Roll backflip. Do a backflip. 2d6.
Oh, 7 plus 2, 9.
9. That is a mixed success.
Move things on quickly, just because I know the time. Can I use my knowledge of useless things to have quickly a glance at the Ken doll and go, I have seen kids with that before.
Yeah.
I think I might know where this might be.
Perfect. Yeah, roll that thing for me, please. So the backflip, I mean, it's a beautiful execution. You land and you feel a bit of a crack in your back. But you're fine. But do it again, it's not really great. That's a 3 on the 3 in total, David. Yeah. I mean, it looks like a very generic plastic looking model. Like you swear you see
It can be a 4. I can make it a 4.
I mean, that doesn't help. You go, there's Ken over there, and you realise it's just another generic Action Man figure. And maybe you point to all the male presenting plastic dolls going, there, and they're not.
Look,
Ken.
they're all Ken. Everybody's a Ken. You have a Ken. You have a Ken.
You're a Ken.
Everybody.
You're a Ken. I am Kenicus. Yes. Anyway. A crack team of toys is rounded up. You have both Work It Out Barbie and the Stacy doll, Stay at Home Stacy, Opposition Stacy. You also have you have all the you have Lorna, your Cabbage Patch Kid, who knows a bit more about the details of where like what to search for this artifact, perhaps. You have any number of those specialist Barbies in the back. If you wish to use them, just say their names, they will appear. And you also are surrounded by the guards of the Care Bears. You have one that has a strawberry, one that has a banana, and one that has a pineapple. I think that's what they have on their chest. If not, I don't care. It's my story. It's my world.
Listen, I'd like to team up with Critical Role Barbie, please.
Oh, what a shame. She's busy on Thursday nights.
Well, it's Friday, so that's all right.
Yes, fine, easy enough. So you have this crack team, and they're basically going to do whatever you tell them to do. So my question to you, my crack team of people, going to find this mysterious artifact of the Ken doll, our ex machina machine-y thingy. What are you going to do? How are you going to track down Mr. Ken?
Just been told that Ken is actually a Karen, so.
Oh.
I'd like to search for evidence of where Ken might have been.
All right.
Everyone's a Ken. Everybody is Ken.
There must be traces of Ken.
There must be traces of Ken. For you, Mark, Arthur, please roll for me knowledge of useless things.
Do better than I did.
7.
7, a mixed success. All right, we'll come to you in a second. Maud, or the being previously known as the Tate Modern. What are you doing to help, or thinking of doing stuff?
I'm going to use the fashion skill and try and find Ken's like wardrobe closet and see if he's picking out outfits over there somewhere.
I like it. So maybe you're using the fashion sense, going, that Hawaiian shirt is a particular brand found in this particular section. It would only be found here and here and here. I like that. Please roll fashion sense.
I'm going to...
I got a total of 3.
Well, 3, so that is a fail, unfortunately. But I liked it.
Really bizarre.
There is no Ken in this strata.
Go for it, being formerly known as a Tate Modern.
I'm going to do fluff-wise. I've now managed to gain access to speakers within the room, and I'm going to speak to everybody who I think is a Ken and ask them all, "Are you Ken?"
Interact.
I'm going to interact with non-building beings.
Yes, please.
And ask them, "Are you Ken?" And all you just hear is like 100 different voices, slightly out of time with each other, say, "Are you Ken?
Are you Ken? Are you Ken?"
And you know what?
Or even creepy. Are you my Ken?
Oh.
Are you my Ken? And you know what?
What?
I rolled an 11.
Whoa! A success. Excellent. So we have a fail, mixed success, and all of that in mind. So
these are the Kens you're looking for.
They are. Wow! You guys are on fire. So unfortunately, Maud,
Obi-Wan comes across and goes, "These are the Kens you are looking for."
Unfortunately for you, Maud, when you're looking at the Ken doll, you're like, okay, yes, we can find if this fabric matches here. But you look at it really closely. Annoyingly, Ken is shirtless. He's wearing a pair of terrible, boring pants. This is like the last scene on last sighting of Ken wearing boring pants, walking out of the museum. Not the museum, like one of the galleries, essentially. Generic Ken doll wearing generic pants. So not much to go on. Arthur, your knowledge of useless things. With that 7, you start getting a bit more about the Ken doll's personality. You start to listen to the history, perhaps, of like what was he like? You know, no, really, what was he like? You get that he was a bit of a pushover, perhaps, bit of a nothing, but nice enough. No personality. Like, you look around, all these other Barbies, all these other Stacey dolls, they all have a personality. They all have like a sense, like a drive and stuff. Whenever you ask, well, describe this Ken doll, like what was he like? Well, you know, they go, well, you know, he was there. He was all right. He was nice. So you get the sense that you're looking for a boring plastic toy, but there's something about it, some sort of unique thing. So you are able to suss, like, if you can find out what that unique thing, that is what hooks you onto it. Meanwhile, the being formerly known as a Tate Modern, you do a thorough investigation of narrowing it down, and let me tell you, the being formerly known as Tate Modern, you're pretty sure the Ken doll is not in this chamber. But you.
So, guys, I've asked everybody here, and Ken is not here.
No, but you are aware that there are obviously other jurisdictions, other associations, authorities within, well, yourself, in the building, the museum now termed as Barbie's Dream House. So if you think to yourself, well, you know, you sort of match up where they say these authorities are, and you find sort of one area which is sort of, again, sort of blacked out a little bit from your memory banks, perhaps, and it just says, well, we must never go there. You know, people whisper about it, go, oh yes, we can't go there. You know, Woolworths. There's a little shiver that goes up people's spines when they say the words Woolworths.
It says something about Woolworths and the Forbidden Candy Store. There's a scoop symbol with a cross through it saying,
"Thou shalt not pick and mix."
Yes. So you have a vague idea, like a location. You have a sense of what not to look for. Like, you've narrowed it down to avoid. You know what the Ken doll was last wearing. Good job, team.
Not much, apparently.
We're going to have to do some kind of archaeological dig in the pick and mix. Because that's going. The sides are going to need propping up in like the chocolate raisin one, or there's going to be some kind of
Haven.
yeah.
So it's the plan. The plan is then to go to mysterious Woolworths. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think so. We could each
strata in the pick and mix.
We could each pick like a section of sweets and dig in them to see if he's in those ones.
They usually do come in layers. You get like two. You get the bottom row of bins, then the row above them, and then you get the big jugs that come down into them as well. So
yeah, he's swimming in there somewhere.
Yes.
So
let's move on. So you are at the room that has been like it has Woolworths, but at the same time it says it looks like it'd been locked up, and it says don't dead open inside or something like that, like on the side. But easily enough, yeah, somebody do me a MacGyver skill. Actually, anyone can do that for me.
I'm a building. I can't interact with these things. What have I been doing?
I got 5.
5. It takes a while, but you make a lot of noise. Maybe you, Cedric, Simon, and Vinny, the 3 pigeons you have, the 3 birds you have, all have a go at it. Eventually, like through some skill, the last sort of pecks off.
It pecks their way in.
Like they just go round the lock.
Yeah.
In this mysterious sci-fi thing, you know what? No, they don't peck. They use their laser eyes that we didn't realise they had just to make the heads move quicker. They just... The doors open. And yes, Woolworths, as we have just kindly improvised, was known as this land of various sweets and stuff. But instead of it being packed up in sort of weird plastic things like it used to be, the whole room itself is almost like difficult terrain. You see hard-boiled sweets. You see the blue raspberry bonbons stuck to the floor. You see mountains of those, and these sweets are huge as well. They're big, right? You see mountains of the horrible, like gummy teeth ones with fangs. There's big lips. But there's like different piles of like what they look like ant hills of sweets essentially, and it's deathly quiet. Yeah, and so. The team, the crack team of... Sorry, say that again, David?
I've got Wreck-It Ralph in my head.
Oh yeah, the sort of the sweet racetrack. Yeah, it's exactly like that. Without the racing, without any of the cool races, without Wreck-It Ralph. So yes, exactly like Wreck-It Ralph. But with all the sweets and stuff, you sense, and with that working out the sort of that void, you feel like Arthur, you think. And you try and feel for this void. Can you do for me a reading or reading? You tried to read the area.
That's a 7 minus 2 is 5.
A failure. There's too much interference from sweetie goodness. And definitely decades-old chocolate.
Best Arthur can come up with is so I think we're in Picken, Mexico City.
It's the chocolate it looks like chocolate, but it's got that weird, slightly off-white coating because it's been sat there for so long.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but
the room is infested with chocolate mice.
Oh no! Oh no! So, you've limited like. Through all your research and stuff, you think the artifact is in this room, but with all these sweets and stuff, again, you don't know what else is in here. The toys seem a little skittish to go through, and they say that they have heard strange tales of things being in this room, and so that's why they locked it off a long time ago. But no one can remember because I don't know, plastic doesn't retain memories as good as stone. I think I remember if that theory works or not. But yes, what is the plan to try and find this artifact? And see if you can do it in 90 minutes or less.
I think we need to do a LiDAR sweep of the pick and mix.
Hold me up. I will do. a check of seeing if I remember what this room should look like and where people can hide and access all the systems that used to be around. Can I do an awareness?
Absolutely. 2d6 plus your 2, please.
With that awareness, I'm going to lay a trap wherever we think he may be.
Ooh, cool. All right, roll. You got a 5, David. All right, come back to you.
I think the trap is on the ceiling. I think he's on the ceiling. He's about to dive into one of the things, and he's up there. He's going to go swim in the popcorn.
Yeah, you still your
popcorn.
camera's still blurry from when the pigeons were poking at it.
It's got a crack down the middle of it.
Yeah,
now.
annoyingly, that's such a shame. So sorry, just go back to you, Maud. So you wanted to lay a trap for Ken, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, lure him in.
All right, so I'm guessing that's not trap disarmament, is it? That's gonna be MacGyver skills again.
Yes.
Go for it.
6 minus 1, I got a 5.
5. So you put together what you think is a decent sized Ken trap. And all it is
Isn't the skill disarming traps?
No. So Maud used
MacGyver.
MacGyvering.
Oh my god! Oh,
Yeah. No, because otherwise it'd be even worse if she was disarming the trap. Yeah, you
Sorry,
set
I'm
up.
having an argument about whether I'm an android or not at the moment.
You set up a tiny box with a stick, and you put in it something that you think Kendalls love from your very limited experience of it. And from your limited experience of birds, you think, well, birds love seeds, so Kendalls must also love seeds. So you just put a little pile in there. Unfortunately, though, your friends of Cedric, Simon, and Vinny, they all go for it and set off your trap, and so they are trapped under the box, and they're like, moving.
Arthur looks at the clock on the iPad screen, and it's like, we haven't got time for this. There's only one solution.
Yep.
I'm going in, and he dives into the pick and mix.
Yes.
Oh my goodness! All right. Do a digging check for me, please. 2d6.
8.
8.
From the iPad, you hear a very ooh, that tickles.
That's an 8. So what I'd say, because I hadn't mentioned it before, and I appreciate we've got 50 minutes left, so that's not helpful. Does anyone want to help with that check? So we've got an 8, and what they
I'll help.
So what are you doing to help, Maud?
Enthusiasm.
Excellent. All right, so I need you to roll 2d6, and if you get,
I'm gonna cheer Arthur on.
Cheerleader routine at the edge of the pickle.
I've got 11.
Yes, excellent. So so you move that up, that help up. I'm gonna get, you know what, rule of cool it. Instead of 1, you're gonna get 2. So it is a success, Arthur. So you dive in. You start to swim through this thing, and you hear more cheering behind you, like, yeah, go, you got this. I believe in you, mousy man.
Go, Arthur.
Mousy man with who's very pedantic. Yes, you got this. And as you start to swim through the bonbons and start to swim through the
I get halfway, and I'm like, oh, fried eggs. Nobody ever has those.
No. Oh, gross. You go past a really
with your claws, they're a little bit sharp.
Yeah, you got you. There's the holes. There's a whole ton of chocolate Brazil nuts. You're like, ooh, expensive. Nobody gets those because what a waste.
Suddenly hear this noise. I've inhaled a foam banana.
And you go down and down and down. So suddenly you pop into an underground cave made out of old pickle mix. You can see it's got all the rubbish sweets, right? It's got every kind of bad licorice, all sort. Not the fruit ones, the licorice, all stuck to the walls. You also see a whole bunch of what look like crystals, but shaped in a certain way. Almost, you could say, like a prison. So I remembered we did a tenant about this. And as you look into it, it shines colours. It shines purple, it shines yellow, and it shines green. But also through the light of the sconces, more of these weird off-brand sconces, you see a shape somebody's a sort of over, sort of crunched over, is like, yes, yes, you've arrived. And you see a Ken doll who's been. I like the idea. Like Ken doll comes around the corner. What was look like a human-sized Ken doll is actually distorted because of the prison light. It's actually a small Ken doll. So it's like, you're here. Good, great. You come to free me.
Yes.
Excellent.
You're needed on the surface.
Ken doll. Bland, boring, dull. No one likes me. Yes, I can come. Take me to.
One step away from take me to your leader.
Take me to the one I remember.
Yes.
Follow my suede.
Oh. Roll fashion sense. Roll fashion sense quickly.
Oh no! Oh, it's a failure. 4.
So instead of blue suede cues playing over the tunes, you get.
It's like, but that's corduroy. It goes off in a completely different direction.
Yes. The Ken doll also goes. No, trap. No. They want to. They used me because I'm the one, and you can see in his hand, you can see there's a book. Yeah, I have the reason. I know what happened at the Olympics, but they hid me away. They didn't want to talk about the event. They didn't want to talk about running. And he shouts. Yes, that's what happened. That's why I'm down here. Because I saw what happened, and they put me down here. Well, it's their own fault, isn't it? Actually, sod them. I was going to go with you, and now I'm not going.
Arthur grabs his head. It's like, Ken, nobody can. He doesn't quite say it. Nobody can move rapid. Nobody can move rapidly with their legs.
Rebel! No, rebel. Then you'll be free like me, Arthur.
Arthur grabs a handful of chocolate raisins and stuffs them into Ken's mouth to shut him up, and then makes his way out of the pick and mix.
Brilliant. Do another digging roll for me, please.
That's a bad failure.
Bad failure. You make your way halfway there, but it's slow going. You're getting weighed down by Ken, who is struggling, and up above. Did we say that the building previously known as Tate Modern? You're with Arthur.
Yeah, this is why I was playing Kinky Boots instead of Blue Suede Shoes.
Fair enough. You
also I was going to say, can we do some mixing if he's going to stuff some things into his mouth? Can we do mixing of random ingredients?
We'll do that.
Not just.
We'll do that in a second because I quite like the idea it's just been done, but I've got something for that in a second, so that's fine. What I'd say is that at the same time as you're making your way back, Arthur, you're holding on to a Kendall that's struggling weakly against it because I don't know. Yeah, he's in
dairy intolerance, and he's got a mouthful of chocolate raisins.
You fed him the milk bottles. The milk bottles.
Oh yeah, you stuff in a few of those as you go past. Maud, back on the surface, you're cheering. And you see something. The rest of the team is still with you because they kind of came along. Maybe they helped with the cheer routine. They're just like,
I'm throwing seed like confetti.
Yeah, and then you see a movement in the pick and mix ocean, and you hear a rumble, and Wookie Our body goes, oh no, and turns to you dramatically. So again, like, oh no.
Oh dear, he's coming back.
Oh.
Is he going to have Ken with him?
No, it's worse than that. It's the hippos. The hungry hippos. And you
Quick!
And you see...
Get us some seed!
You see at four corners of this bloody ocean, you just hear a jump, 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 as in the corner a blue hippo comes in, and these things are hippo-sized. And so, Maud, what are you going to do to help your friends who they're coming back? You can sense them coming back. You can hear Kinky Boots playing in the ocean. What do you do to help them?
Oh, I am going to. Oh God! All I want to do is backflip out the ocean.
Do it! Backflip! Save yourself! Backflip!
10 plus 2, 12.
You succeed. You easily backflip out of the room. You're safe. Meanwhile,
Back to my words.
Meanwhile, underneath the ocean, being formerly known as the Tate Modern, you put yourself on shuffle and you start playing the Jaws music as behind you, hungry hippos come for you.
Can I do that?
Arthur.
Go for it.
Sorry.
Kind of a way to make Arthur move quickly.
Certainly can. If you roll for me it's not going to be a move quickly.
Move quickly?
It's not for you, it's not. So hang on one second. I want you to...
Well,
Enthusiasm. Roll enthusiasm.
Enthusiasm, right. I got a 10.
Oh, success. Okay, so whatever the next roll is for you, Arthur, you're going to get a +1 to it.
Right, so Arthur...
It's a oh fuck, oh.
Yeah.
So Arthur is going to...
Oh no.
Arthur is going to use the animal whispering skills to call upon the help of the trapped pigeons who are underneath the pick and mix.
Yes.
To grab him and pull him out.
Do it.
It's a 9 plus 1
Success!
plus the modifier from David.
Success! You do it. So I like the idea. Here's how I picture the scene. You see the chomp chomp chomp, and it's getting very graphic in terms of these sweets. They're breaking out. Those milk bottles are gone. The foam bananas are flying out the way, and being formally known, you play a remix of the Jaws theme, which is like it's the sexy remix, which is like da-na 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 na da-na da-na da. And as you again, Arthur, you feel it in your heart. You're like, I could do this, and you sort of do your own little Pocahontas sort of like, ooh, and the box on the surface, we zoom into it, and 3 pigeons burst out of it. They swan dive in.
John Woo.
They grab bits of your brown suits, your suede stuff up. They pull you out. Even Cedric, who falls over because he's got balance issues, they pull you out. And again, a glorious moment as you're pulled out. There's a hippo behind you with the Ken doll, and you sort of like up. You go up, and it snaps, and you manage to get up into the room. They're all out. The dolls shut the door and go, "That's why we don't go to Wolves."
Arthur reaches into his backpack, pulls out a tartan thermos. It's like, well, I don't know about everybody else, but I could do with a nice cup of tea.
Amazing. And that is where we're going to lead. You awaken in a strange place. Thank you so much to my players. Thank you so much to Jacob Andrews, who designed this game. You can get this game on itch for free. I highly recommend it. It's super, super fun. It's super, super easy. And you can just see, there was a lot of notes I created. The first thing I wrote down was Barbie Council. And then I wrote Fight, Care Bears, Big Room. That's all I got. And then I was busy trying to look up what the Toys R Us theme tune was. And that was all I wrote for that adventure. So you can have a lot of fun. We're going to go round once more, and then I'm just going to say quick thanks to the con organisers and thanks for letting us do this stream. So if we go round in opposite order, so we go Sarah, Mark, and David, and then we'll finish with myself. Take it away for us, Sarah.
So I'm Sarah, and you can find me at A Barrel of Crafts on Instagram.
Very much. Mark.
I am Mark from the Folklore Podcast. You can find everything about podcast at thefolklorepodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at folklorepod. You can also find some more stupid gaming bonus content with archaeology themes at times, actually, on the Folklore Podcast website in the bonus content section.
Very much. And David.
Yes, I am David. I run the Drunken Storyteller Twitch stream where I abuse Fiona and Mark in space when
With
nobody
consent.
can hear. With consent, well, yes. I run a lot of streaming, a lot of indie stuff. I think we do a lot of the less well-known stuff out there. I also do a folklore-ish podcast called The Drunken Storyteller as well, where I just tell stories and do silly things. There's going to be an episode coming out in the next couple of days where we talk about yeeting bees at people and color changing dogs. So if that's kind of your bag, there's also a little bit of history and archaeology in there because I've just moved to a new place with some cool stuff. So go check that out. Fiona is one of my regular players. We're basically going to be, you're there all the time.
It's my
so if you want to see Fiona do things.
And Fiona, who are you?
Who am I? Well, my name is Fiona. Who am I? I'm Fiona. What am I? Well, I'm a podcaster and I'm an improviser and I do some voiceover stuff. Where am I? I'm so glad you asked. What Am I Rolling is a twice monthly RPG watcher podcast where we do silly things like this. We do all sorts from D&D if you're interested in like who. But also like stuff like this was completely improvised. We also do interviews with game designers. We also do stuff, a lot of free league stuff we've done recently, all the way from like proper crunchy rules like OSR stuff, all the way to really, really simple one-page one-shots like Honey Heist and Goat Crashes and all that sort of thing. I also run a podcast which is about D&D lore called the DM's Book Club, where it's a weekly chat about various D&D things. So if you're like, I only like one RPG system, and I go, cool, I also like that system, but there's lots more. You can check those out. That's What Am I Rolling and the DM's Book Club. Find them wherever you listen to podcasts. And I just want to take this moment because we've only got 2 minutes left. Say a massive thank you to the con organisers for letting us. I hope it fulfilled the brief of some sort of archaeology. And there was digging, and there was some excavation. But I appreciate having the time on the stream and having a time to do this. And again, thank you to these wonderful players who completely made that one shot. And we finished it. And we'll never see that world again. What a shame. But thank you so much. And I'm going to ask the players to wave awkwardly whilst I find the off switch. And thank you. Enjoy the rest of the con and check everything else out. Thank you and goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.